I'm at this nearby pond over here, and I'm going to be taking some photos using only the Go Ultra here. We're going to test out to see how the photos look. Most of my videos are done with the Go Ultra, so we're going to try the photos now and see how they look. The bad thing about this is that there is no zoom, so everything's going to be very wide. Anyways, I'm going to take some shots and try some of the filters that are built into the camera to see maybe which profile I like the most. So we're going to start things off with the standard filter here. I've got the white balance. We'll set that to auto. Pretty much everything else will be set to auto here, but I am in the 50 megapixel 4x3 pure shot is the format. Don't need the raw. I'll just do regular for now and take a couple shots here. So standard profile. Next one is the glow. This is low contrast, cold tone, suitable for vlogs or portraits. Probably not the best here, but looks very similar to the standard. Next one is the selfie. These are pretty much the same as in the video mode. And there's not a whole lot different between these options here. Vivid, you can definitely see some more blue on this with some contrast. But we're going to take photos here. NC film simulates vintage negative film with high contrast. Definitely less saturation on this photo is what I can tell. NC2, this is modern negative film with high contrast. And the next one is CC film, vivid, positive film, colors, rich, bold tones. This brings out a little bit more of the greens. And CC2 film simulates vivid, positive film, colors for rich, bold tones, optimized for night scenes. We'll see how this looks. I'll show you guys how everything looks, all of the photos side by side, so you guys can see what the difference is between all of the filters. So far, I think the best looking one is probably the most appealing to me is the CC film styles, just because I like that film look, and maybe the vivid because I do like rich colors. But I'm gonna walk around the pond here and see what other photos I can take. So I've come over to this little area, a couple benches over here. Take a couple shots over here. So I am currently shooting in the CC2. So also with this, you can use the micro lenses as well for photos. So I'm going to change this to the 21.5 centimeter lens. I got the lens right on top here already. Just popped it on. And I'm going to take a selfie with it and see how it looks. So it should get that blurred out background, but I think it's the right distance maybe. But yes, you can use the micro lenses as well in photo mode. I wish there was a way to see on the screen what was in focus. But if you want some macro photography or something more up close, you can definitely get some good shots with that. All right guys, we're gonna try and get it's kind of like a shot here of myself. I've got the camera set on the bench here. 10-second timer. Might be a little hard to see with the sun. So I'm currently shooting in 12.5 megapixels. If you set it to 12.5, you are able to do the digital zoom up to 2x. But if you go 50 megapixels, unfortunately, you do not get the zoom capabilities. So let's try it with the 2x zoom. We'll go back to 1x. So it is quite a bright day, and I don't know how this is going to turn out, but we'll take a look at those together. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there is a goose over there, and there's another goose down here. I'm guessing it's a nest here, so I'm not going to bother them, and I'm going to move on to the next place. We got the 11.6 centimeter lens in now. I'm back at my car, and I am going to take a close-up shot of my wheel here. I've got the 5 centimeter lens on the camera now, and we're gonna see if we can get a good shot here. So the thing with like really up close shots like this is that if there's any sort of glossy surface, you can see all of the glare and reflections. What is nice is that you can use the on-screen button to take pictures as well, instead of the mechanical one. So it's a softer touch, so anytime you hit the shutter, it's not gonna always like jitter or move, because sometimes you got to push a little harder on the top button here. So that's nice to have at least. I'm gonna try and take some more photos, and then we'll go over all of the footage. It is actually the next day, and it is currently in the morning. I've got the camera set up right here on the tripod. You guys are behind to see what it looks like, but we're gonna test out some shots indoors for photography. I still have the camera settings, 50 megapixels, CC2 color profile, linear mode. Let me just adjust this here. What's nice too is that you can actually set up gesture controls. So if you are away from the camera and you want to get more of a wide shot, you can set up gesture controls. So for photos, you do the peace sign. And then it gives you a 3-second countdown. And as you heard, it took the shot. So you can actually line up the shot how you want it. You can either set a timer yourself, or you can just peace sign, and you're good to go. So pretty nice little handy feature. I don't use the gestures too much, but it would be pretty useful for recording stuff like this, or even in video mode. I think in video mode, you do your palm here. Just started recording. It looks like it's switched into video mode, and as you can see now, it is recording in whatever mode I was set at before I changed it to photo mode. I don't know if I can stop it actually. I've never tried it before. So you can stop the video as well using the palm gesture control. That's for video mode. And then for photo mode, again, it is the peace sign. So pretty nice that it switches between the different modes for photo and video mode. Nice little feature. I might actually use it more often now that I know it switches back and forth between the two. A neat little feature, gesture controls. Right now, I only have rail lights and the window light for this kind of photo shot here. So Anyways, I'm gonna take a few more shots indoors and see what it looks like. Popped on the 11 centimeter lens here, switch it over to the 11 centimeter setting on the lens setting, and I'm just gonna take some photos of my display here to try and get some close-up shots and see how it performs. Again, this is just natural light from my window here. I do have pretty big windows. So with the 11 centimeter lens, I typically want to be around 4 inches away from the subject to get the best focal distance. I might actually switch out to the 5 centimeter lens to get even more up close and see how some of those photos turn out. So I've got the 5 centimeter lens on here now, and this typically you want to be 2 inches away from your subject to get that shot to be in focus. So the tricky part with this is that when you're so close to whatever object you're taking a photo of, your shadows actually might get into the shot. Just something to keep in mind if you guys are going to be shooting that up close to your subject. I think it still works out. As long as you get the right angle, it won't get in the way. Like I mentioned in my micro lens review, it is kind of annoying to have to keep swapping out lenses if you want different focal lengths. But for macro photography like this, I think it's well worth it to use. I probably would use this lens more for photography like this than in video form. And you can probably use the Toddler Titan lens as well. It's pretty up close for something like this. If you do want some really up close shots, definitely recommend swapping out for the 5 centimeter lens here. So I've popped on the 38 centimeter lens now, switch it over to that setting as well. I've propped up the tripod a little bit higher to get more of an eyeline shot now. I'm trying to get more of that shallow depth of field, blurry background. Maybe you can do that. I might be a little bit too close to the background with this. So typically you want to be about 15 inches away from the camera with the 38 centimeter lens here. I think I'm about that far away from the camera. We'll see how this looks. I think I'm in focus from the display, but here we go. So what I'm gonna do is actually push the camera a little bit further away from the background to see if I can get more shallow depth of field. I just have it propped up on my chair here, my office chair. All right, so with this, I'm gonna be around the distance. I still wanna get some of the background in there, but maybe a little bit further off to the side. Another one, maybe right up front. For a reference, this is the shot that I'm looking at. So I've got the Go Ultra right here, and this is my background. It is now a few days later, and I'm actually currently editing this video that you guys are watching right now. As I'm going through the footage and looking through all of the photos, here are my thoughts on taking photos with the Go Ultra. First thing I want to say is that all of the photos that you guys saw in the video were ungraded at all. I didn't do any color grading. It is straight from the camera, straight from the filters. None of that was edited at all. With that being said, I would actually edit some of the photos. I do like photos to be a little bit more contrasty and maybe change up the saturation a little bit here and there, but for everything in this video though, all of the photos were straight in camera, didn't touch it up at all. With that being said, the favorite filter that I love to use was the CC2 film. That one seemed to be the best for my own personal taste. It had kind of that film cinematic look into those photos, and surprisingly those weren't actually too contrasty, but I had a little bit more of the greenish orange tones that I do like, kind of like a more vintage retro look. That's going to be my personal favorite as far as the film looks go for these photos. Now, as far as the overall quality of the photos, I actually think they turned out really nicely, especially shooting at the 50 megapixel resolution, especially when I had the micro lenses on for close-up photography. As far as the other photos go, they actually turned out okay. I wouldn't say they were super great or anything like that. Like I mentioned in the video, since there's no real focus distance that you can choose from, everything is going to be shot very wide. So if you want like a huge group of people, I would say this camera would work out great for that. But if you wanted to hone in on a subject that was a little bit further away than the micro lenses can pick up, it's going to be tough to just focus on that and have everything else in the blur. So that's one thing I would say that's the downside with the camera, is that and that's the case for all action cameras as well, is that since it has an infinite focus, there's not really a way to kind of target the subject in the photograph. But if you are taking a lot of like landscape photography, like buildings, architecture, whatever it might be, where you want everything in focus, and I would say this camera actually turned out really well. But I would say if I was going to use this as a photography camera, I would mainly use it for macro photography or landscape photography. But let me know in the comments below what you thought of the shots that I took. Is this something that you would use for your photography needs? Would you use the Go Ultra to take photographs instead of just video? Overall, I was very satisfied with taking photos using the Insta360 GO Ultra. I would recommend it for you guys to test out yourself. I think the shots turned out great, actually. Not every shot was perfect, of course. If they figured out the focus thing where I could see what was in focus using the micro lenses, that would definitely help a lot more. But I would say the best part about the camera and photographs is going to be the macro shots for sure. Now, this is only the case when you do put on the micro lens on the camera. If you don't have the micro lenses and you're using the regular camera, you're not going to get macro shots for sure. They're all going to be in a blur. So only recommend it if you have micro lens or the toddler tightened lens for those macro photography shots. With that being said, let me know in the comments below, would you use this camera for photography or just video? And if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to like button, subscribe for more content like this, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye. I still had gestures on and the camera turned off as I was saying bye. So gesture control works really well. But again, thanks everybody for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.